Go ahead and share my screen. All right. Excuse me. Let me go ahead and start the recording. After we go ahead and full screen this. All right. Thank you everyone for joining this Accounting for Your Money. This is our day 3 of the Chicago Urban League Entrepreneurship Class series. All right. So this is day 3. So we're going to talk about basically how to get some money for your business and how to properly account for your money. All right, hopefully everybody out there can hear me just fine. We're live today on Zoom with the Chicago Urban League. So shout out to the Chicago Urban League. And then we're also on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook. Shout out to the Facebook folks joining. And then Instagram as well. Shout out to Instagram. Looks like Instagram, we're having some technical issues. So let me just go ahead and let's see here. Yeah, it looks like we're having a little bit of technical glitches. There we go. So it looks like we're back on Instagram. So thank you everyone for joining today. Definitely appreciate it. So today we'll be talking about accounting for your money, right? And so how to make sure you get your money right from a accounting software standpoint. And then we'll also be talking about business credit. That'll be the bulk of what we talk about today. With that being said, for those who don't know me, let me just go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Jeff Badu. I'm a parallel entrepreneur and a wealth multiplier. I'm the founder and CEO of Badu Enterprises, LLC, which is a multinational conglomerate in the finance industry. And what we do is we provide a suite of financial services, including our marquee company, which is Badu Tax Services. And that's the firm that does tax preparation, tax planning, and tax representation for individuals and businesses across all 50 states in the U.S. And we also have clients in over 25 countries at the moment. Then we have Badu Investments, LLC, which is our real estate investment company. And that's the firm that basically acquires apartment buildings or rental properties, mainly on the south side of Chicago, in efforts to restore traditionally underserved communities. Then we have Badu Life and Health Solutions, LLC, which is our life insurance company that provides life insurance products and solutions to individuals, families, and small businesses. And then we have the Badu Foundation, which provides financial literacy education to the youth ages 6 to 18, where we teach them on topics such as budgeting, saving, investing, and then scholarships. My purpose in life is to inspire and support the super hungry to take hold of infinite resources in order to create an abundant lifestyle. All right, so let's, real quick before we get started, let me get my Instagram. Let me make sure Instagram is good to go because it looks like we're glitching a little bit. All right, so Wi-Fi is connected. All right, looks like we're back on Instagram. Hopefully it doesn't glitch anymore. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Appreciate all your patience. Today we'll go on until about 7:30 p.m. Central. So that's the latest time we'll go on. So 7:30 p.m. Central. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. If you don't mind, if you're on Facebook and Instagram, just type in the chat where you're listening from today. All right, just type in the chat where you're listening from today. And then if you don't mind liking and sharing this video, it's always greatly appreciated just to get more people engaged and involved, right? And then on top of that, it allows us to get more engaging questions as well. All right, so we got, let's see, Mark. Mark is listening from ATL. Absolutely. Barbara's listening from Facebook. All right. Thank you, Barbara. All right. So basically the agenda for today, we'll talk about personal and financial management software. So we'll focus today on your business, right? We'll focus today on your business finances, but everything we talk about today can actually apply to your personal finances as well. You know, so just something to keep in mind. This is the day where we bring it all together. And then we'll explore various softwares, various ways for you to get business credit, right? Business credit, and then also properly manage your money. We'll talk about the pros and the cons of each one. And then we'll talk about how to get paid, how to make sure your business is set up for success from a getting paid standpoint, right? Getting paid. You want to make sure you get paid. The whole cash only, we only accept cash, that's a thing of the past. You don't want to be doing that in today's day and age, especially in a time like COVID-19. All right, so then you can feel free to ask questions at any time. If you're on our Zoom today with us, with the Chicago Urban League, you can feel free to just unmute yourself and ask your question, or if you have any comments. Or you can type in the chat. You can type your question directly in the chat. If you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram, you can type your question in the chat as well. All right. And if we have any technical glitches, my apologies, right? You know, technology is something that we would love for it to work in our favor at all times, but unfortunately, sometimes that's just not the case. All right, so let's get right into it. Introduction to personal and financial management software. Now, as a reminder, the only folks that can see the slides and all the things that we're presenting are the folks that are on our Zoom today, the Chicago Urban League Entrepreneurship Group today. All right, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you will not see the slides or anything like that, but you'll be able to hear and listen to the information. You'll be able to take notes. You'll be able to rewatch this, and you'll be able to ask questions. So if you don't see something on your Facebook right now outside of me speaking, that's perfectly fine, right? The only people that can see my slides right now are those on the Zoom. All right, so one thing to note, and I've said this twice before, if you can't keep track of the money, you don't have a business, you have what's called a hobby. All right, let me repeat that one more time. If you cannot keep track of the money, if you can't follow the money, you don't have a business, you have what's called a hobby. Now, there's nothing wrong with the hobby. But if you think you're running a legitimate business and you don't know where your finances are, that's a problem. Right? That's where the problem is. The problem is not whether or not you have a hobby. The problem is thinking that you have a legitimate actual business and you're not able to properly keep track of the inflows and the outflows of the money. That is a big problem. Right? That's a big problem. Now remember, you don't have to be the one that's doing everything. You can hire experts. You can hire a bookkeeper, accountant, CPA. But you yourself need to understand where the money is going and where the money is coming in from. You need to know the inflows and the outflows or the income and expenses of the business. All right, so there's different softwares that we use to help us track some of this stuff. For example, we have Wave, FreshBooks, and then my favorite, QuickBooks. So I'll be showing you guys and doing a demonstration of each one today. But first, let's talk about business credit. All right, let's talk about how to get business credit. If you are joining us on Facebook and Instagram, first of all, welcome. Secondly, you'll notice that the title of this is how to get $50,000 plus in your business or for your business today, right? Today. Not tomorrow, but today as we speak. So by the end of this talk today, you'll be able to get at least, right, or let's just say $50,000 plus for your business by the end of today. That's my gift for you guys today. I'll be revealing all the business funding sources I know that's out there. All right, ones that are for businesses that are just starting out, and also ones that are for more established businesses. All right, so let's start with personal credit. In order to get business credit, you have to have decent personal credit. You got to have at least, I would say a 650 or above personal credit score to get decent business credit. 650 or above. Now, ideally, you want to be at a 700, but I know it's not always all peaches and cream. So try to strive for at least a 650 plus, right? If you're not there yet, there's a few things you can do. Number one, you can go through some of these recommendations. We'll give you specific recommendations to be able to improve your personal credit score. All right. Number two, you can do credit repair. Credit repair. And by the way, we do run a credit repair company. If you go to BaduEnterprises.com right now, that's once again BaduEnterprises.com right now, you'll be able to click a link to take you to a credit repair source that can help you repair your personal credit if needed. All right. So just something to keep in mind. All right. So Perry just commented on Instagram. Shout out to Perry. And said, I need it. Just seeing a property for $40K right, I need to close on. Absolutely. We'll talk about that. And you can use business credit as down payment for your real estate, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, so let's start with personal credit. The tool or the software that we use to keep track of our personal credit is called Credit Karma. Credit Karma. And that's karma with a K. Right? Credit Karma is basically a free, 100% free, right? It's 100% free software that allows you to track your personal credit score and also your credit report. Now, one thing to note is that your credit score doesn't really mean anything. You're probably thinking I'm crazy right now by saying that. But let me repeat it. Your credit score doesn't really mean anything. Your credit report, the contents of your credit report, is what means everything. The contents within the report is what means everything. You can have over 10 plus credit scores out there. Some people might say, oh, my Experian is this, my TransUnion is this, my Equifax is this, I went to get a car loan is this, then I went to go apply for a mortgage is this, and I went to go get a credit card, they said this. You can have a lot of different credit scores. Usually they're all around the same number, right? But understand that the report, the content of the report is what's most important. And today, I'll show you ways to improve your credit report, which will overall improve your credit score. All right, so Credit Karma allows you to see what you qualify for. So not only can it track your credit report and also your credit score, it also gives you recommendations of some different sources that you can go to qualify. One of the pros, or a few of the pros, is that it's a free software, 100% free. 100% free. You don't have to pay for it. Number two is you're allowed to gain transparency, and transparency is key. You're allowed to gain full transparency of your credit report and also your credit score. You can see the contents that's on your credit report. And then, since it gives you recommendations, it tells you, hey, you know what? You'll be better off applying for this. You know what? You'll be better off applying for that. Or you know what? You should stay away from this. It gives you recommendations. It says, hey, something is good, something is excellent, and something is poor for you to apply for. What this allows you to do is it allows you to avoid inquiries, credit inquiries. And we'll talk about that in a second. One of the nice things about Credit Karma too is that it's very easy to use. You can download it on your phone, right, on your mobile app. And then on top of that, you can also get it on the web, so on your browser, right? You can get it on your browser. A few of the cons is that it's not always up to date, so it does take about 7 days to update your score. So it's not always the most up to date unless somebody runs your credit. The moment somebody runs your credit, then it will update for you automatically. And then also it only has 2 credit reporting agencies as opposed to the 3. There's 3 credit reporting agencies out there. There's TransUnion, there's Equifax, and then there's Experian. Once again, there's TransUnion, there's Equifax, and then there's Experian. So with Credit Karma, it only has TransUnion and Equifax. It does not have Experian. One way to fix that is you can go to Experian.com, get a free account, and then you can see your Experian credit score. So it's a very, very easy fix, right? Very, very easy fix. So that's a bit about Credit Karma. That's all about your personal credit. Remember, why are we talking about personal credit? Because in order to get business credit, you have to have decent personal credit. You need at least a 650. Credit scores typically range from about a 300 to an 850. A 300 to an 850. Right? So in order to get business credit, you need to have at least a 650 credit score to get decent credit score. Ideally, you want to aim for at least a 700 credit score. Right? If you got an 850 credit score, you're doing something terribly wrong. It means you're being way too conservative. It means you're missing out on money. And if you got a 300 credit score, right, that means you got problems. You need to improve it. You need to go through some credit repair, credit counseling, right? So understand that credit, especially in America, is very important. You know, buying things with cash may sound sexy, but man, right? To say that I can get access to, let's say, $1 million in business credit, that's important, because what you can do is you can use that, that credit, that business credit or personal credit, where they're charging you, let's say, 3 to 5% interest, sometimes 0%, right? And then you're going out to invest in your business and or, let's say, real estate, stock market, whatever it is. You can make more than 5% on your money, right? Just by making the right moves. So understand that the reason why we want credit, the reason why we want business credit, is so we can use the money to reinvest in our business, another business, or something that's a profitable venture, so that it can put more money in our pocket. And then all we're doing is we're paying monthly. We're paying monthly payments for that loan or that credit that we took out. So having credit is not bad at all. It's better to have credit when you don't need it, as opposed to not having it when you do need it. Right? The best time to apply for business credit or personal credit is not when you need it. It's actually when you don't need it. You should have a line of credit. We'll talk about these things in a second. You should have a business line of credit, right? Even if it's $1 million, just sitting there, just waiting to be tapped, just waiting to be tapped into. And they're charging you 3, 4, 5% interest. Interest rates are at the lowest they will probably ever be over the next year or so. Or actually the next 5 years. Right? Interest rates are scary low right now. And banks want to loan you money so that you can use it to make more money, and in exchange they charge you interest. Right? Life is one of the games in life is the compound interest game, where you're borrowing money at a low interest rate, or you're paying a low interest, but you're receiving, because you're taking this money, you're reinvesting it into something else, and you're receiving a higher interest. All right. So with that, let's talk about the 5 components of your personal credit score. There's 5 components of your personal credit score, whether it's your FICO score or your, whatever score that's out there. There's 5 components. And these are in the order of most impactful on your credit score. Number 1 is payment history. Payment history. These are debt payments, loan payments, monthly debt payments. So your credit card, for example, your car loan, your student loan, your mortgage, debt payments. We're not talking regular bills like your phone bill. We're talking monthly debt payments. You want to be on time with those payments. What's one of the best ways to be on time every month? You set up auto pay. Me personally today, I don't have a single bill that I manually pay each month. Not a single bill. Everything is on auto pay, automatic payments, right? And make sure you're tracking, right? You're using a tool to make sure that that auto pay actually went through, that bill did in fact get paid. Right? There's an app on your iPhone that you can use. This is more for personal budgeting. Right? You can use Mint, mint.com, to track your bills. Right? To track your budget. Mint, mint.com. All right. And Rashad said, auto pay is our friend. Absolutely. Auto pay. Every month, the money gets taken out automatically. Now, let me give you guys some reverse psychology for a second. What if you put your investments on auto pay too? Right? Think about it for a second. Like, why would you pay somebody else before you pay yourself? Does it make any sense? Probably not. Why would you pay somebody else before yourself? So why not put your investments on auto pay too? That, $5 a day, $100 a month, $100 a week, whatever it is, have those things on auto pay as well. Maybe you have an Acorns account or a Robinhood account, and money is getting wired directly into those accounts, and they're going directly into your investment account. If you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, right, by Robert Kiyosaki, this book right here, if you haven't read it, I strongly encourage you to do so. There's a concept called paying yourself first. Paying yourself first. Meaning that you basically, just like you have your bills on auto pay, you should have your investments or savings on auto pay as well. And make sure that you receive that payment first before your bills get paid. Right? So payment history. These are monthly debt payments. Do not get behind on your bills, especially your debt payments. Your car loan, student loan, mortgage, credit cards. Do not be behind, please. Please do not be behind on your monthly payments. Now, technically, to be technical, they won't report it as a late payment until you're more than 30 days behind. So you get a 30-day window. You will get assessed a late fee, a late payment, right? You do get 30 days and you'll get assessed a late payment. But the moment you're on day 31, depending on the lender, the creditor you're working with, they will report it as a late payment on your credit score. And that's going to ding you badly. Badly. I had a client who had perfect credit, but had one missed payment on her credit report. Every time they applied for credit, the lender always asked the question, why were you late on so-and-so payment? It was just so annoying. To the point where sometimes they got denied just because of that one missed payment, although they had a 700 plus credit score. You know? So that's just something to keep in mind. Payment history. Payment history makes up about 35% of your credit report or your credit score. So please be on time on your payments. Number 2 is credit card utilization. Credit card utilization. This is simply the number of outstanding balance you have on your credit card divided by the available credit on your credit card. Outstanding balance, for example, you got a Chase credit card, a Chase personal credit card, and you used $300 of it and you left the balance of that $300 and you had a $1,000 limit. Well, 300 divided by 1,000 equals 30%. So now you have a credit card utilization of 30%, and they combine all your utilization rates together, right? They combine all your utilization rates together. So if you have 5 credit cards, it's going to take the total, the aggregate of all of them. Try to keep it below 30%, by the way. If possible, try to keep it below 10%. The best thing you can do with a credit card, swipe it, pay it off each month. Swipe it, pay it off. Pay it off in full each month. Do not leave a balance on that credit card. All right, so we got a question on Instagram. Can you do anything if you already have late payments? Yes, you can go through credit repair, where it's a process where they'll send letters to the bureaus, right? And basically the bureaus have 30 days to respond to you. If they don't respond, they have to get rid of that late payment on your credit report. Typically, they don't respond. Right? They don't respond typically. So they'll get 30 days to respond back to you. By the way, actually, before you do it through the bureaus, send a letter. Send a good faith letter requesting the late payment to be removed directly to the creditor. Issues are best resolved directly with the party that you're working with. So if you have a late payment with somebody, talk to that person. Say, hey, I understand I was late. Give them a reason why you were late. Maybe it's because of COVID-19, maybe a medical issue, lost job, something that happened. Put a reason in there, a legitimate reason. And sometimes what they'll do is they'll say, okay, we get it. It happens, right? Life happens. So we'll go ahead and remove it. Once you send that good faith letter, and let's say they say, no, we won't remove it, then you go through credit repair. You go to the bureaus. You get your letters. You send them to all 3 bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, right? And then they'll get 30 days to respond. If they do not respond, then they have to remove it. If they do respond, then you have to provide proof as to why you were late or, why you shouldn't be dinged as late. So then you have to go through a back and forth process. So hopefully you get a lender who's lazy and doesn't actually respond, right? Next thing is derogatory marks. Bankruptcies, liens, judgments, medical bills, outstanding medical bills. These are the worst. Collections, right? Just try to stay away from those, If you really want to, let's say you owe somebody $10,000 right now, Right? You owe somebody $10,000 right now, and you can only pay them $2,000. Right? And you're a good person. You're a naturally good person. Here's all you got to do. It's real simple. It's so simple, you'd be like, man, was this that simple? Call them up and say, hey, I owe you $10,000. I understand, but I'm going through some hard times right now. Unfortunately, I can't pay you the $10,000. Can I give you $2,000 today? 99% of the time, they'll say yes. 99% of the time. And what's going to happen when they say yes is now that can't go on your credit, technically. They can't say, oh yeah, so-and-so didn't pay me. Right? If you were already in collections, now that's a paid collections. And if you were not in collections, well, now you don't have to worry about that going on your credit score, your credit report. So before it gets to the collections, folks, please try to settle the balance over the phone. And once it gets to if it gets to the collections, folks, call them up immediately. The worst thing you can do is not respond. Not responding is never a good answer to anything in most cases, right? You do have to at least respond in some way, shape, or form. So if you owe somebody money, call them up and settle it. Real simple, right? Be a man, be a woman, whatever it is. Call them up and settle it. It's real simple. All right, so that's number 3. That's the third big factor. Derogatory marks. Please try to avoid these things. Bankruptcies. That stays on your credit report for 7 years. Right? Judgments, liens, medical bills, collections. All right? And Sharon commented on Facebook, can you keep this video up? Absolutely. All the videos that we do are recorded. And so they are posted on my Facebook page. You just go to my Facebook and then you can rewatch it. And then in a few business days or so, we do post them on our YouTube channel as well. So the Jeff Badu YouTube channel. All right, the next one is inquiries, hard inquiries. Whenever you apply for credit, they're basically going to ding you with a hard inquiry. Right, a hard inquiry. And so with that, you want to apply for no more than, I would say, 3 to 5 at a time. No more than 3 to 5 within a 3 to 6 month period. Don't apply for more than 3 to 5 places that require a hard inquiry, and ask them, hey, do you guys do hard inquiries? If they say no, we do soft inquiries, then yeah, go ahead and apply. There's nothing to lose there. But a hard inquiry, that's going to ding your credit score. Last but not least, total accounts. Total accounts. That's the total of your current accounts and then your closed accounts. Lenders like to see that you have a nice mix of accounts. You got a student loan, you got a car loan, you got a mortgage. They want to see that, you got a nice mix of accounts and you're paying these on time. All right, so the 5 factors: payment history, credit card utilization, derogatory marks, hard inquiries, and then total accounts. Those are the 5 factors that affect a person's personal credit score in the United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave. And so with that, does anybody have any questions on a Zoom or Facebook, Instagram, anything you want to ask? You can feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat. Then we'll go into the business credit side where we'll be doing a demonstration of business credit. Any questions? All right. So in the absence of any questions, let's see here. Yep. So we're going to do a quick, actually not a quick one. We're going to do a 25-minute segment. It's so important. We're going to do a whole 25 minutes on business credit. So we just talked about personal credit, right? Personal credit. And now we're going to go into business credit. Now on the slides, you do see some ways to pay off debt, right? Personal debt, at least, not. So we're talking bad debt. So, a few ways to pay off debt. We talked about the negotiation aspect, right? So settling the debt over the phone is real simple. You can refinance. You can refinance debt. Maybe if you got a lot of credit card debt, right? You got these high interest 30% debt, which are the worst debt to have. You can get another loan that's at a lower interest rate, let's say 5%, and then use that loan pay off the credit cards, put the credit cards in a drawer or something, lock them up, lock them away, right? So basically you're using debt, you're using new debt that's at a cheaper rate to pay off old debt that's at a higher rate, and you're going to improve your credit score because now your utilization rate is going to go down, right? And stay away from getting into more bad debt, more bad personal debt, right? Debt that you're not using to get ahead in life, debt that you're not using as an investment, basically. And then there's also the snowball method, where you're basically, you're paying off the lowest, essentially, you're paying off the highest balances first, right? Or in other ways, actually, let's take the method back. This method has always been a little confusing, but with the snowball method, you're still making your minimum monthly payments, but you're aggressively paying off the lowest balance, right? The lowest balance. So you got that $500 card, then you got a $1,000 card. They're all maxed out. You're aggressively paying off the $500 card first. And then once that's paid off, you use the money that you were using to pay off that card to pay off the $1,000 card. I've been in personal debt before, bad debt, right? Personal bad debt. I'm someone who almost went bankrupt, in the past, right? Because of getting into bad personal debt, credit card debt. And so what I had to do was use the snowball method to ultimately refinance, right? Get a loan at a lower interest rate, use that money to pay off the higher interest rate debt, and also increase my credit score to get into more favorable rates. That way I'm not carrying these high interest rate credit card debt. All right, so with that being said, let's go into the business credit side. So for business credit, remember, personal credit, we use Credit Karma. Personal credit, we use Credit Karma. For business credit, we're going to use NAV, NAV.com. NAV.com. So as homework today for everybody listening, and you do not have a NAV.com account, it's free. It's 100% free. Your homework for today is to create a NAV account. It's real simple. For those on the Zoom, all you got to do is go to NAV.com. You hit get started, real simple, right? Real simple. And then you basically go through the prompts. You let them know what you're looking for. When you're starting out as a brand new business, you're only going to be qualified for credit cards typically. So you're going to say credit cards. All right. And then you're going to tell us a bit about your business, the name, the address, zip code, and all that. Now, here is the point of the day. And I mentioned this on our last discussion with the Chicago Urban League. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot get business credit unless you have either an LLC, a limited liability company, or an INC. Once again, you cannot get business credit unless you are an LLC, a limited liability company, or an INC, a corporation. So if you do not have one of these, then this entire segment is irrelevant to you. It may be useful in the future, but it's not going to get you that $50,000 we were talking about today. You got to get your business registered through your Secretary of State, right? Or you can come to me. You can go to BaduEnterprises.com and we can assist you with forming your LLC, or you can shoot me an email, or you go to your attorney. You can go to your attorney as well, and they can help you form your company. So for those who do have LLCs or INCs, you are eligible to apply for business credit. If you do not have an LLC or an INC, you cannot get business credit. Once again, you cannot get business credit. It's real simple. You can get personal credit, and you can get a decent amount of personal credit. You can get personal credit cards, you can get personal loans, you can get personal lines of credit, but they're all going to be in your personal name, and they're all going to affect your personal credit score. Right? So as you use this credit, it's going to affect you from a personal credit standpoint. So you do want to make sure that you get a business, a registered business. Along with that, you want to get a tax ID or EIN number, which is basically the social security number of the company. All right. So nav.com, nav.com, you want to get an account. If you already have an account, you just log in, and then you're going to follow these instructions, essentially. So once you've created your account, as a brand new business owner, This is very important to note. As a brand new business owner, you don't have business credit. It's pretty clear. All right, you don't have business credit. So what you're going to use is you're going to use your personal credit. You're going to use your personal credit. This is why I say you need at least a 650 or above personal credit score. And they're going to look at that, look at your personal credit history or profile to qualify you for the business credit. What that's going to lead to is a hard inquiry on your personal credit report. But after that, it does not get reported on your personal credit report. So as you're using the card, it's not going to be reported on your personal credit profile. It gets reported on your business credit profile. And now you're building business credit. All right, so Barbara on Facebook says, that's what I need, assistance in forming an LLC. Yeah, feel free to shoot me an email, Barbara. Shoot me an email at jb@badutaxservices.com. Once again, that's jb@badutaxservices.com. And we can certainly help you out with that. And so, with that, so when we go on nav.com and we filled out our profile, we put in our LLC's information, we've put in our personal information, then it's going to give us prompts, right? It gives us prompts. And remember, in order to get the business credit card, you need a decent personal credit. And guess what? If you don't have the personal credit needed, you use other people's credit. Maybe you go into a partnership. You say, hey, it could be a parent, it could be a spouse, it could be whoever. Say, hey, I just started this business. I believe it's going to take off, and I need some business credit. I know you got a decent credit score. How about in exchange for 10% equity in my company? 10% equity in my company. I'll use your name to apply for the business credit, and then I can buy you out, right, within 2 years by basically coming up with some agreement of some payback amount, right? I'm allowed to buy you out because I know you're not interested in the operations of the business, but you are interested in making some money, right? You want to make some money. So I promise that your personal credit is not going to be put to waste. It's going to be put to good use. We're going to apply for business credit. We're going to apply for about 3 to 5 sources, right? It will lead to a hard inquiry, but in exchange, you get to keep 10% of my company. But remember, I can buy you out in 2 years. And see how it sounds to them. Believe it or not, this is what I did personally with my own family member, right? Thank God for family, right? They do bail you out sometimes. So for me, when I was starting out, I didn't have the best personal credit because I was involved in a car rental business. That basically, since I had a lot of cars in my name, right, that dinged my personal credit. And so it was hard to get business credit because my personal credit was not good. Right? Nobody had taught me that, hey, go for the business credit first before you apply for personal credit. Nobody actually taught me that. Had I known what I know today, back then, I would have applied for business credit first, right? Get all that taken care of, like max out on the ability to apply for business credit, and then come back to the personal credit once I fully exhausted my options on the business credit. So when you're starting out, you're going to apply for business credit cards. You're going to hit the business credit cards at the top once you've created an account. And what that's going to do is it's going to match you. Based on your information, it's going to match you. And by the way, you're probably wondering, well, what revenue do I put for my business? You can put projected revenue. Whether it be $100,000, $150,000. This is where that budget that we talked about last time comes in handy. You can use projected revenue on a business credit card application. So it's going to match you, and you're only going to want to apply to the ones that has a high match factor. I would say 90% or above. And with that being said, here are some of the best business credit cards to apply for. All right, number 1 is the Chase Inc. Chase Inc. business credit card. Chase Inc. INK. You do need a 700 or above credit score to get the Chase Inc. card. But remember, you can use other people's credit if you don't have the credit yourself. All right, Chase Inc. is really, really good. Number 2 is the PNC Business Cash Card. PNC Business Cash Card. All right, PNC Business Cash Card. And that one you cannot get on Nav. It is the only card that we'll talk about today that you cannot get on nav.com because I don't believe they have a partnership together. So you can go to pnc.com and apply. They'll give you about 5,000 or so, 5 to 10,000 or so. And the same thing with the Chase Inc. They'll give you about, give or take, I've seen as high as 20,000. So $9,000 to $20,000 when you apply. And you can get approved right away, even if your business is 1 day old, because remember, they'll use your personal credit score to qualify you for the business credit. Another one that's good is the American Express. So the American Express Platinum. Great points, especially for travel. So you got the Amex Platinum. That's really, really good. So that's 3 so far. And then I'll give you a bonus one, a fourth one. That is the Capital One business credit card. Unfortunately, though, Capital One is the only business credit card that also reports to your personal credit score. Right? So not only do they report to your business credit profile or score, but it also reports to your personal credit profile or score. So Capital One. All right. So let me repeat it one more time. There's four business credit. You can get $50,000 or so by applying for these 4 sources. Number 1, Chase Inc. INK, the Chase Inc. business credit card. Number 2, you have the PNC business cash card. PNC business cash card. Number 3, you have the American Express Platinum. The unlimited card, American Express Platinum card. Number 4, you have the Capital One business credit card. All right, those are 4 cards you can apply for tonight. If you have an LLC and you have not applied for business credit yet, you need at least a 650 or above credit score to apply for these. One of them, the Chase, you need at least a 700. All right, and there's other ones that you'll find on Nav. And remember, 3 to 5 at most. You don't want to apply for more than 5 credit sources at a time within 3 to 6 months. All right, just do 5 at a time. 5 here, 3 to 6 months later, another 5. 3 to 6 months after that, another 5. All right, don't do 10 at once. That will get you in trouble. All right, all those inquiries do not look good. But, 5 here, 5 there. And if they ask you why you're applying, well, you can say, well, because I need some money. Who's got my money, right? Who's got my money, basically? I need some money. And so that's why I'm applying for the business credit. So those are 4 sources. Now, I'm going to mention a few other sources, and I'm going to put them in different buckets. Remember, 4 sources, homework for tonight. Get a nav.com account and apply for these 4 business credit card sources. That's all you got to do tonight. Now, if you've been in business for more than a year, remember the Chicago Urban League, I know that we cater more so to, folks that are just starting out in business. So you're going to fall into that first bucket. Now, the second bucket is those who are a year or more in the business. You got a year or more under your belt in the business. Now you're in the game. Here are a few sources that you should consider using. And I will go pretty fast on this one because they're not relevant to everybody. All right, so remember, in your first year of business, you're going to apply for business credit cards. That's all you qualify for. That's it. Within the first 12 months of your business, all you qualify for are business credit cards, and that's it. All right, you got the Chase Inc., you got the PNC Cash Card, you got the Amex Platinum, and then you have the Capital One business credit card. That's it. That's all you qualify for. If you're more than 12 months in, hey, now you can apply for the big stuff. Now you can go for the big boys, the lines of credit. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have financials on hand. You got to have your taxes done. You got to have a profit and loss report using something like QuickBooks, which we'll talk about. You need to make sure you're registered, of course. And you need to make sure that if you've gotten a business credit card, you're paying these on time. All right, you're paying these on time. You do not want to be late on these, or you will not get the big boys. Right? So there's different tiers when it comes to business credit. Tier 1 is the business credit cards. That's all you'll get within the first 12 months. After month 12, then you can qualify for, here we go, drum roll, business line of credit. Right? Business line of credit. All right. So with the business line of credit, it's basically a credit card, but they allow you to tap into it right away. You can write yourself a check, or you can wire yourself the money for your business line of credit. So you can go to right now, if you're more than 12 months into business, your business is generating revenue. That is a requirement too. You got to be making some money. You can literally go right now as we speak to a Fifth Third Bank branch and say, hey, Fifth Third, I need a $100,000 line of credit for my business. What can you guys do for me? First thing they'll do is they'll require you to open a checking account if you don't have one already, and then they'll apply for a business line of credit. As long as everything checks out on your personal credit score, boom, $100,000 that you can transfer right into your bank account. They'll give you a checkbook. Or you can literally get on the phone and say, hey, can you wire $100,000 to my account today? Right? So Fifth Third, business line of credit. It's unsecured too. Unsecured meaning they do not require a lien, whether it's a blanket lien or a specific lien like an equipment lien. No liens on your business at all. Right? No liens. No UCC filing, which is basically a lien filing on your business. So you got Fifth Third, PNC line of credit as well. PNC line of credit. Unsecured as well. Unsecured is better than secured because unsecured means they don't attach to your business. Meaning if you go out of business, they can't take anything. If you run away, they can't take anything. Right? So PNC, if you go to a PNC branch right now and you're more than a year in the business, you can walk in the branch right now and say, hey, I need a business line of credit. What can you do for me? They'll give you up to $50,000 or so, unsecured. And here's a nice thing about a line of credit. As long as you're making payments on time and you have a good relationship with the bank, they'll double or sometimes even triple the money the following year for you. So you start off with a $100,000 line of credit. Well, now they can go up to $200,000, right? If the limits allow, of course. So you got Fifth Third and you have PNC. You also have another one that's unsecured is U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank, one of the best banks to get a business line of credit. U.S. Bank. The next one is a Chase line of credit. Now, unfortunately, as you can imagine, Chase does require it to be secured. They'll file a blanket lien, which is a lien against all the assets of your business. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. It just says, hey, if you run away, then we can take XYZ. Right, which is cool. It's like real estate. If you run away, they'll take the real estate. So it's secured against your business. They'll file a lien against your business. All right. So Chase, they can give you about $100,000 or so. All right. And then Citibank, and then Wells Fargo. Citibank and Wells Fargo are also pretty good. And then one last one I would like to mention is BMO Harris Bank. Now with Fifth Third, PNC, and U.S. Bank, you can get them all at the same time. But with Chase, Wells Fargo, and Citibank, you might want to hold off a bit because what they'll do sometimes is they'll file a lien. I don't believe Wells Fargo actually. I think they stopped the lien. Actually, Wells Fargo, it is unsecured now. Wells Fargo is unsecured. So it falls in the bucket of PNC, Fifth Third, and U.S. Bank. Wells Fargo is unsecured. But Citibank, and let's see here, Chase, and also BMO Harris Bank, they will file a blanket lien against your business. How do I know this stuff? Well, guess what? I've applied for business credit myself. All right. And so the experiences, the things that I'm telling you now are the things that I've gone through before. How do we own a decent amount of real estate, we use business credit. It's real simple. All right, so that's within the second tier is lines of credit, right? Lines of credit. And then you have the third tier of funding, which is SBA loans. You might have heard of the EIDL loan, Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which for that one, as long as you're in business in 2019, you can get a loan. And then they were also giving out the grants, the $10,000 grants. All right. So you can get up to $2 million EIDL loan or so, right? And EIDL stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan. It's a 30-year loan, 3.75% interest rate, no payments due for 2 years, right? No payments due for 2 years, right? So it's one of the best loans to get out there, EIDL loan. Nowadays, they have made the paperwork a bit more complicated because unfortunately, some people abuse the system, right? But you have the EIDL loan, and then you have the SBA 7A loan, the 7A loan. This one requires you to be in business for at least 2 years, right? Because you need 2 years of tax returns. So the SBA 7A loan is very similar to the EIDL loan, but the 7A is typically about 10 years or so, right? It's a 10-year loan. Interest rate is a bit higher, so it is a bit higher interest rate. But nowadays, the SBA will pay about 3 months or so of the first. So the first 3 months of payments, the SBA is going to pay it for you. It is very document intensive. They want to know everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they asked you for a blood sample. All right, I wouldn't be surprised if they asked you for a blood sample on those 7A loans. 7A is very document intensive. You probably need an accountant to help you with this. They'll ask you for at least 40 documents. EIDL, very simple. Very, very simple. They won't ask you for much at all. Right? Line of credit, oh, piece of cake. You can apply for a business line of credit in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It's real simple. All right, so these are a few things to keep in mind. Now, to get a business line of credit from a bank, you typically need to have a checking account with that bank. So that's one of the stipulations. Now, there's no fees or anything like that. Usually with these types of accounts, they'll set you up for a no-fee account. So it's no, there's nothing that you're going to be paying. You have nothing to lose. All right. All right. So we got someone on, let's see, Instagram. Sodi Cassie, yep. Sodi Cassie said, I need this in my life. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so right now we're talking about business credit sources. Business credit sources. So tier 4 are essentially different. These are not the most ideal folks to work with, but they will get you money nonetheless. Number 1, QuickBooks Capital. QuickBooks Capital is one. Number 2, Allies for Community Business. Those are pretty good. Allies for Community Business. They still fit into tier 4, but they're still pretty good. Number 3, Funding Circle. Funding Circle is really, really good. Number 4, Blue Vine. Blue Vine is one of the best that's out there. Blue Vine is absolutely great. Number 5, Headway Capital. Headway Capital. Number 6, you have Credibly. So Credibly is one. Number 7, you have, Lendio. Lendio is pretty good. Number 8, you have Fundera. Fundera, Fundera. And then number 9, you have On Deck. On Deck is pretty good. Right? On Deck is pretty good. And then last but not least, you have Fundbox. Fundbox. So let me go through the list one more time. Remember, this is tier 4. This is tier 4 of the business funding. All right, where tier 1 is our business credit cards. Tier 2 are business lines of credit, which you need to be in business for at least a year. Tier 3 are SBA loans. Typically need to be in business for 2 years or so, but you can get it in 1 year. And then tier 4 are not too ideal, but they'll get you the money. They'll get you what you need. So we got QuickBooks Capital. We have Fundera. We have Allies for Community Business. Then we have, let's see here, we have Funding Circle. We have Lightstream. And then we have Blue Vine. We have Headway Capital. We have Credibly. And then we have Lendio. And then last but not least, we have On Deck. On Deck. Actually, Fundbox. Fundbox is another one too. Fundbox is another one to throw in there. So that's tier 4. Tier 5 are personal credit. We try to stay away from these, but hey, if you need to, then so be it. Personal credit. All right, so for personal credit, you can get personal credit cards, right? You can get a Chase Freedom Unlimited. So there's a lot of companies that offer personal credit cards. Won't go through the list today. But some other sources, PayPal Credit. PayPal Credit, very easy to get. Very, very easy to get. Best Egg, BEST space EGG. Best Egg is also pretty good. Upgrade is pretty good. Lending Club, right? Lending Club is pretty good. And then we have, let's see here, Street Shares. And then last but not least, Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Those are a few sources. All right, and somebody asked a question, can you email these sites? Yeah, send me an email, jb@badutaxservices.com. Once again, that's jb@badutaxservices.com. And I can email you this list. That's not a problem. Now, you might want to consult with a business credit specialist before applying for these. All right, so the NAV one, the business credit card one, those are pretty easy to get. You probably don't need a specialist for that. But when we're talking about lines of credit, SBA loans, and then these other business credit sources, you might want to use an expert. All right, so I do want a special shout out to Jerry Tolliver at Fly Credit. Once again, Jerry Tolliver at Fly Credit, FLYY Credit, flycredit.com. They do a great job at getting you business funding, for your business. We also have a link on our website, baduenterprises.com. So baduenterprises.com if you want to get a direct link there. But Jerry Tolliver is really good. And I also utilize the Skip app. The Skip app. There's an app called Skip. And they're really, really good at getting you business credit. All right, really, really good at business credit. All right, so Quasi says, thanks for the information, Badu. Definitely appreciate that. And then let's see. Samuel Wusu says, Mr. Ghana brother, absolutely. Shout out to the Ghana. Shout out to the GH. Love Ghana, by the way. It's definitely my favorite destination to visit on the planet. And yeah, shout out to Jerry Tolliver. She does a great job with business credit, at Fly Credit. So we just revealed about 40 or so business credit sources. There's always more that's out there. But understand that, there's a whole lot of business credit that can be had. So if you're just starting out in business, meaning you're 1 day old to 1 year old, you want to look for business credit cards. And to look for business credit cards, you want to go to nav.com, nav.com. It's a free account. It allows you to view your business credit score and your credit report, and you can apply directly on the website. And there's 4 business credit cards that I recommend you apply for today. Right? The header of today, I promise you guys, how to get $50,000 plus in your business by tonight. So number 1, the Chase Inc. business credit card. Great card to have. Number 2 is the PNC business cash card. PNC business cash card. You won't get that on NAV. You would not get that on NAV, but you can go to PNC.com right now. PNC loves handing out money. I kid you guys. I kid you not, right? I kid you guys. Number 3 is the American Express Business Platinum card. It's a really, really good card to have. And then last but not least, we have the Capital One Business Credit Card. All right, so if you're just starting out, those are the sources you want to apply for. Let's take a few questions before we go into the accounting software, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. All right, so AIG on Instagram says, will this affect my chances of approval? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you mind elaborating on your question? Not sure what you mean by will this affect your chances of approval? And then let's see, another question is, can you have the proceeds go to your business? Absolutely. With a business line of credit, you can have them wire the money directly into your business account. Right, a business account. All right, another question. Can you get a personal loan, use it for investment for your business? Yeah, you can. You can do that. All right. And then the legacy lady said, hey, Jeff, can you repeat that? Do you mind clarifying what to repeat? We'll be more than happy to repeat that for you. And then Bryce asked the question, is there a way to get business credit without using your own credit? No, unfortunately. At least starting out, you must use your personal credit report to apply for the business credit starting out. Right? Later on, they won't care too much about your personal credit, but I can tell you, even for big, ginormous loans, they always look at your personal credit just to see what you're all about. All right. And then somebody asked, Dada asked, what's the Skip app? Skip app allows you to look up business credit sources, and you can apply directly on the Skip app. They have articles on there too that give you some more insight as to how business credit works. So the Skip app allows you to see what business credit or business funding sources are out there. All right. And they have trackers and different tools. Just download it and play around with it and get to know the information. All right. Remember, self-education is the most important type of education that you can have on this God-given planet. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and go into some accounting. Actually, does anybody have any questions, any other questions before we move to accounting softwares? Whether you're on Zoom, if you're on Zoom, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question or type in the chat. And then if you're on Facebook or Instagram, as you guys have been doing, just type your question in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you. So any questions at all? All right, so in the absence of any questions, let's go ahead and talk about some softwares. Remember, if you can't keep track of the money, you don't have a business, you have what's called a hobby. All right, remember, there's nothing wrong with a hobby, but at the same time, if you want to run a legitimate business, you want to be tracking the income of the business, the inflows, and also the expenses of the business, the outflows. How do we do that? Well, we have apps. We have tools, technology. Thank God for technology to be able to help us track these things. Number one, we have Wave, W-A-V-E, which allows you to create invoices, process payments, and also even run payroll. It is a free software. So it's a free software, and it's also easy to connect your bank accounts. Right? Very easy to connect your bank accounts. It's also professional. It has a nice professional look and feel. One of the cons is that it's not as integrated as QuickBooks, right? So it has very, very limited features because it's free. One thing I've learned in business is always understand what you're paying for. They say you get what you're paying for. If something is free, I usually don't expect a whole lot out of it, right? You know, sometimes you get lucky and you get really, really, really good quality stuff for free. But at the same time, some of the best things in life that I've received, that I've gotten, are the things that I actually paid for. Right? So Wave is a good starter kit. It's something to get you going. But there is better out there. We also have FreshBooks, which is a cloud accounting software. All right, so for Instagram, let me make sure let me get this Instagram camera charged real quick. Make sure. Hopefully everybody is enjoying this talk today. Let me get this charger in here real quick. Sorry for messing up the camera. All right, there we go. Hopefully it's charging okay. All right, so we also have FreshBooks. All right, FreshBooks. FreshBooks allows you, it's a cloud accounting software that allows you to track invoices, track expenses, time, accept credit card payments, and you can also create financial reports, including your profit and loss report, And then I believe it has the balance sheet on there too. Some of the pros is that it's a good comprehensive software or package. It does have a nice professional look and feel. So it gives you that professional, you can create invoices. Some of the cons is that it can actually be more expensive than QuickBooks, which is more integrated than FreshBooks. All right, so FreshBooks is the in-between. To be honest, I don't have any clients that use FreshBooks as we speak, right? And we have, in our database, we have about 2,500 clients, and none of them, that I'm aware at least, use the FreshBooks app. All right, it's either QuickBooks, another software, or Wave. And most of them use QuickBooks. And speaking of QuickBooks, it's my personal favorite. Why is QuickBooks, so great? Well, for one, QuickBooks allows you to automatically download and categorize transactions. You can also participate in online billing, right? And then you can create professional looking invoices and estimates. You can upload receipts, so you can literally upload receipts directly through your phone. You can create customized financial reports. So this is the upper advantage it has over FreshBooks. And then you can also do things like track inventory. Some of the pros of QuickBooks is that it is a full-blown accounting software. You can do everything in it. All you're doing is you're linking your business checking or credit card account. You can link as many accounts as you want. You can link personal accounts in there too if you're using it for business. Right? But you can link accounts in there, and then it's going to auto-populate your transactions, all your revenue, your inflows, all your expenses. Then all you got to do is go in there and say, okay, this is meals. This is travel. This is home office. This is utilities. So basically all you're doing with QuickBooks is you're going in there and you're categorizing. The nice thing I like about QuickBooks as well is that it has a professional look and feel, right? So it allows you to send those professional looking invoices, and it's a very, very professional software, essentially. It is rated the best software in the industry each year, right? Every single year it's rated the best software for small business owners. Very competitive pricing, right? Very competitive pricing. And then there's plenty of discounts offered, especially if you're working with somebody like myself, who's a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor. And then last but not least, it saves business owners on average 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week, right? So think about how much that can mean for your business. Some of the cons is it does require some training to really, really get a look and feel, a good understanding of QuickBooks. It does require some type of training, so in our firm, for example, we do offer a 1-hour QuickBooks training. That is one of the services that we offer. And for our tax planning clients, that usually comes complimentary. All right. So with that, let's talk about how to get paid in your business. This is the last slide of the day. You do want to make sure that you're running a legitimate business and you're actually getting paid for the services you offer to your clients or society as a whole. So you do want to utilize the apps. You have Wave, FreshBooks, QuickBooks, Square, PayPal, right? You do want to utilize these apps so that they can help you collect payment. I can't remember the last time I've accepted cash from a client. I literally can't remember that. I think it was before the pandemic. All right. Our firm right now is 100% virtual. 100% virtual. Never, ever, 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 ever run a cash-only business. Never run a cash-only business. Can you imagine? All right, you got this great restaurant and people love your food. But in a world where over 90% of people use, or 90% of people prefer to use digital payments as opposed to cash, imagine running a business like that where you're potentially throwing away 90% of revenue, right? Or 90% of your customer base. Can you imagine? Some people think, oh yeah, if I run a cash-only business, I don't have to report it. I don't have to pay taxes. I'm like, okay, well, that's what you think. That's not what the IRS thinks, right? They will get you one way or the other. Trust me. They see it all. They see everything. Before you get something, the IRS has it, right? So running a cash-only business is not a smart business model. It's not a smart business model. We are in a digital age where people don't pay with physical cash anymore. Nowadays, they're paying with Bitcoin, right? They're paying Bitcoin. In our firm, we accept Bitcoin payments. You know, there's a app called BitPay that allows you to accept Bitcoin for your services, your products or your services. Nowadays, we accept Bitcoin. Right? That's how advanced the world has gotten. In the future, when you go to a foreign country like Ghana, instead of going to a Forex shop, what you're going to do is you're going to have your app, your phone that has an app on it that's password protected. And then you go to the store. When you get to the checkout lane, if there's a human being that's going to be there, it might be a robot that's next to you, right? Instead of paying with cash or a card, you're going to take your phone out and then you're going to scan, right? There's going to be a Bitcoin scanner. You're going to scan, you click the button on the screen to confirm the amount, and boom, you walk out the door. I mean, nowadays, Amazon delivers to your home. You don't even have to go to the grocery store. You don't have to go to the restaurant. There's Uber Eats, there's Grubhub, Postmates. So why in the world would you run a cash-only business? It is not a smart business model, especially in this COVID-19 day and age that we live in. So offer various payment methods: cash, check, ACH, credit, debit card, Bitcoin, right? Whatever method that you can get paid, go ahead and get paid. The more options, the better. Although we don't like accepting cash, we'll take the cash. If somebody walked in right now and said, hey, here's $10,000 cash for the services you provided, I certainly wouldn't turn it down. Right? I would take the cash and then immediately go to the bank and deposit it. It's real simple. Remember, we haven't accepted cash in our business for about 2 years now. And understand, yes, you might be paying some fees, some credit card fees and this and that, 2%, 1%, 3%. It's the cost of doing business. Would you rather have more revenue where you're paying a fee on, or less revenue where you're not paying anything? Or let me put this another way. Would you rather have 90% of $1,000 where you're paying a 2% fee, or 100% of $100 where you're paying no fee? I think you would go for the 90%. Right? It's real simple. You just give yourself more options. I don't think our revenue would be where it's at, nearly where it's at today, if all we accepted were cash. Not at all. It would be so inconvenient to the customer. And always put yourself in the shoes of the customer, by the way. Put yourself in the shoes of the customer. See how you would feel if so-and-so did that to you. Send invoices and send reminders. The best day to send a reminder? Friday. Why? Because Friday is payday. Most people in America get paid on Friday. So send invoice reminders on Friday. The people that owe you, send them a reminder on Friday. Right? And last but not least, always evaluate your accounts receivable policy. If you're collecting 100% of your services, you're too strict on your accounts receivable policy. You got to be a bit more lenient so that more people can pay you. Maybe your policy is way too strict. Right? And if you're at, let's say, 70% collections, then that's a problem. You're being a bit too lenient. You got to get a bit more strict. Right? Maybe you need to collect payments up front as opposed to due on services completed. In our firm, actually, just end of last year alone, we now require a minimum 50% deposit for our tax preparation services. All right, that's something we never had done in the past. It was unheard of. The industry said, hey, people don't do that. Right, well, let's try it out. Before I get my food from Uber Eats or Grubhub, I got to pay. So why not do the same? And for some services, by the way, we collect 100% up front. That's going to help with the cash flow. And then also it's going to help with your collection rate. So with all that being said, it looks like we're pretty much wrapped up. So let's just go ahead and take some questions at this time. We'll do 9 minutes of Q&A. Shanice on Zoom asks, although you can utilize accounting software to track, are you required to have hard copies as backup for tax or auditing purposes? Yes, you're not required, but you should. Keep your receipts. If you get a physical receipt at a restaurant, take a picture of it and then drag and drop it into your receipts folder. All right? Just take a picture of the receipt. If it's a digital receipt, which most receipts nowadays are digital, thankfully, all you got to do is download it and then drag and drop it into your receipts folder. It's going to save you a lot of trouble. If the IRS, God forbid, knocks on your door and saying, hey, we're auditing you, well, they got nothing on you because you got everything nice and tight. Nice and tight. They have nothing on you. They might ding you here and there for, they always got to get something, right? So let's say they're saying you owe them $50,000 and you want to audit and now it's down to $1,000. I mean, write them the check for $1,000. It's better than $50,000. And guess what? Once you win an audit, they're less likely to audit you because they know you got your stuff together. They'll say, hey, let's go after the other guy. Maybe they won't have it in order. But they see you got QuickBooks, everything nice and organized, nice and ready, and then you got your receipts to back it up. Oh, they can't touch you. They can't touch you. You're bulletproof, basically. You're bulletproof. All right, so let's go to Instagram, and the camera's a bit sideways, actually, so if you see me leaning in, I promise I'm not blind, right? It's just trying to read these questions. All right, so Instagram, let's see. Somebody asked a question. I'm in grad school now on a student loan. Since now would be checking personal credit, or I guess hidden personal credit, would my status be a limitation? I mean, yeah, it does negatively impact. If you got a student loan, they're going to count that in your debt to income ratio. But I would say go ahead and apply anyway. That's why you want to use something like Credit Karma or NAV, because it's going to tell you whether you qualify, because Credit Karma or NAV has your personal credit right then and there in front of them. Right? So they've already done the due diligence for you. All you got to do is hit the apply button and confirm the information. So yeah, if you do have a student loan, yes, it does negatively impact your ability to get business credit. But I don't think by that much, to be honest. It's not as bad as you may think it is. All right, so somebody asked, how can I get the $50K from my business? I missed out. Unfortunately, you got to rewatch the recording, take some notes, right? So remember, for those on the Zoom, I will send the recording to James, and then he can feel free to distribute as he needs. This is for our Chicago Urban League class today. If you're on Facebook, it's recorded, so just watch this again. Right, literally. Once this is done, go to my Facebook page and just watch it again and listen to it. Treat it like an audiobook. And then take notes. Take notes. By the way, if you have not read this book right here, Infinite Expansion, How to Infinitely Expand Your Vision of Abundance, I would strongly recommend you check it out. It teaches you ways to create an abundant lifestyle. It's available on Amazon right now. It's called Infinite Expansion, How to Infinitely Expand Your Vision of Abundance. And one way to do that is to always take notes whenever you're listening to important information, especially something that you've never heard of before or something that you're really, really interested in learning more about. All right. So if you're on Instagram, this will be on my IG Live page. So just go right to my Instagram page and just rewatch it. It's real simple. And then within 48 hours or so, this will also get posted on my YouTube channel, the Jeff Badu YouTube channel. And then eventually the podcast, the Money Talks Badu Edition podcast. All right. So question was asked, what's the name of this tool? Not exactly sure which tool we're referring to. All right. Maybe you'll catch that in the recording. All right. So we got 4 more minutes to go. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions you would like to ask at this time? If you're on Zoom, you can feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can feel free to type in the chat as well. Any questions? All right, questions going once, going twice. Sold. Go ahead, Shanice. Mm-hmm. Are you talking about a credit card or just like a loan? For sure. All right. Appreciate it, Shanice. For sure. Yeah, so Shanice asked the question, is the business credit, like the time you have to pay back the card, the same as personal credit? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. So just like personal credit, they'll give you 30 days essentially to pay the balance, right? You build a balance, you get 30 days to pay it down. If not, it gets reported on your credit report as the balance of what it is. You don't have to pay it in full per se, like they won't like take you to collections or anything. You just want to make sure you clear the balance each month. As a matter of fact, American Express, they require you to pay it in full each month. So for business credit, just like personal credit, you have to pay the card back after 30 days, right? After 30 days. If you don't pay it in full, you'll have to make the minimum monthly payments. And then for American Express, you have to pay the card back each month in full, or some bad things will happen, unfortunately. Does that answer your question, Shanice? Absolutely. All right, last question of the day. Daniel asks, when is the best time to email you? Email me now. Email me right now. Don't wait, right? Because when it's top of mind, it gets done. So my email address is jb@badutaxservices.com. Once again, that's jb@badu, B-A-D-U, tax services. That's services with an S.com. You can feel free to email me any questions you may have, anything that you need. And then our office line is 773-819-5675. Once again, 773-819-5675. Last note of the day, we are having an event tomorrow from 6 to 7 p.m. Central. This will not be live stream. I repeat, this will not be live stream. It is called the 3-Step Infinite Wealth Building Formula. All right, 3-Step Infinite Wealth Building Formula. So to RSVP for that, you just text the word wealth, right? Text the word wealth to 773-819-5675. Once again, the word wealth to 773-819-5675. It's from 6 to 7 p.m. Central tomorrow. And we'll be talking about the 3-Step Infinite Wealth Building Formula that I've created, by spending over 1,000 plus hours researching and coming up with a formula that can help you build infinite, long-term, sustainable, Rockefeller type wealth. And so with that being said, let me go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you everyone for joining. I pray that you have an abundant and prosperous rest of the evening. If you need anything from me, just let me know. Shoot me an email. Check out the jeffbadu.com website for the infinite resources. And with that, I hope you all have a great night. Good night to Instagram. Good night.